down front. Dwayne Rankin, Arizona Republic. Welcome to Phoenix. Just curious, when you look at the roster now in totality, when you came in the trade, it still wasn't done. now that it is, what do you think about when you see the roster?
Yeah, I like our roster where we're at right now. We have a lot of interchangeable pieces. Obviously, the big three are the big three, and we have a lot of guys here to surround and help them out.
With your role, and he's someone that when initially you were traded, I was like, well, he could be the fifth starter. What things do you feel like you bring to the table that would make you the prime guy to be the fifth starter?
I'm a versatile guy. I defend. I don't need the ball. I move well off the ball, and I can make things a lot easier for those three or the other four.
Last thing I had was when you're thinking about Kevin and Devin and Bradley, when you watched them either played against them or watched them from afar, what did you see in them that makes you now think, hey, look, I can fit because I see their game, and this is what I can do to fit with those three, because obviously it's going to be crucial to fit with those three.
Yeah, I mean, they're all elite scorers, but they're unique in that they don't necessarily need the ball to score. Like, they don't need to ISO a whole lot to score. Obviously they can, but they play off ball, they come off screens, they shoot catches, shoot shots. So finding ways to get them open, make it easier on them. And they're unselfish as well. They'll go give the ball up to each other, whoever else is out there, and I'm just complimenting them.
Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports. Nice to meet you. Welcome to the Valley. Ever since you got signed, just the conversations you've had with Frank Vogel in your defensive role, how those kind of expanded, and what you expect him to ask out of you with the defensive mind that he is.
Definitely be one of the main defensive guys on the team. I know I have the ability to with my length and just my basketball IQ. And obviously Vogel's a big defensive guy. That wins you championships, so we're trying to do. So embracing that role for all of us is going to be crucial.
Something that every team needs, but this team specifically is looking for that type of defensive stopper to go with these guys. Does that excite you coming into a winning team like this, knowing that role's open?
Yeah, definitely. Being able to be a defensive stopper on a winning team is almost like a dream, you know, like a very crucial part, like you said, to winning games, and then obviously winning games in the playoffs is having a defensive mindset and multiple defensive players.
Hey, Keita, Gerald Bourguet, welcome to the Valley. Nice to meet you. I'm just curious, can you walk us through what kind of the free agency process was like for you? Because obviously you guys reached an agreement pretty early in the game, so what was it like to be kind of courted by a team that's going to try to contend for a title this year?
Yeah, it was a really quick decision for me. Really easy, just because coming from, I appreciated my time at San Antonio 100%, but obviously the direction that they were going and are going is a little different than what I was looking for. Once the opportunity presented itself to be able to come and compete and really have a chance to win a championship, it was not a hard decision at all.
Keita over here, Trevor Booth with Clutch Points. You had one of the best stretches of your career at the end of last year, average career best numbers. Can you just talk about that, and then also what you learned from Coach Pop that helped you in your NBA career?
Yeah, and taking advantage of the opportunity that we had all last year, and then definitely toward the end of the year, going into contract year and all, I want to play well, obviously individually. But then even Pop would tell me certain things like, hey, you want to carve out a career, you want to be out here for a long time, and you have that ability to. So he kind of let me go with a lot of freedom. I learned a lot from him, to be honest, not just on the court, but off the court, and just how to be a good person, just everything in a lot of different aspects.
Keita over here, John Voida, SB Nation. What's the transition been like for you coming from, obviously San Antonio, a team that had lesser expectations, obviously coming here to Phoenix with a team that has such high expectations?
It's been a pretty easy transition, just because I don't consider myself a loser or someone that doesn't want to win or a selfish player at all. I'm not saying those people, obviously, they have a culture down there. That's not them either. But coming here, knowing that this is a real opportunity to win, it's not going to be easy, obviously, but that is a attainable goal in front of us, and wanting to be a part of that is big for me.
Keita, Doug Franz Unplugged.
Keita.
Since you are, I got a little excited.
Yeah.
Since you are a high basketball IQ guy, do you mind going deep on the last thing you learned, the last thing a coach pointed out to you on film, or the last thing you picked up in the gym, and what you learned basketball IQ-wise that maybe you didn't know until someone just told you?
I'll honestly say certain things with screening angles, rolling, where to look on the options. That's going to be big here, obviously. The big three are going to command a lot of attention and want, to get the best defensive guy off of them. Just learning how to set screens, get out of them, make some sort of miscommunication happen on the other team's defensive end. That makes it easier for them and me on the backside.
Keita right here, Brendan Mao from Burn City Sports. You just touched on how your time in San Antonio, how they were on a completely different trajectory. So how does your mindset change now that you're here in Phoenix and with a team that's hoping to win the championship?
Honestly, mindset-wise, it's not that big of a change just because you kind of have to separate and know the path that a team is going on versus the path that you want to go on. And that's the nature of the NBA, right? Like, you have teams that are for sure competing for a championship, but you individually are always trying to just get better, right? So this year is about obviously a championship, but then getting better individually at the same time. But the individual growth has to go hand in hand with the championship mindset. So it has not for me that big of a change, is because I understand the game and understand what I have to do out there, and that what I do is to make it so it's easier for those guys so we can win a championship. Cool. Thank you, guys.